for the benefit of those who did not attend the last 19, 20 days, the people who are viewing it, I want to say that I first came across the concept of quantum entanglement through Maharishi Mahesh Yogi's followers about 30 years ago as a physics student. And there they talked about, quantum mechanics talks about entanglement of photons, electrons. But they started talking about the conscious being's entanglement using this quantum idea and said, okay, we can also do this. And then they wrote a lot of physics, high-flown papers and all that they produced, and I was very, very impressed. So I also made it part of my vocabulary that maybe the processes we do, and I use the word maybe because I did not know what I now know having come here, but before I came here, it was a hypothesis for me that maybe there is a quantum entanglement analogy, something similar going on when a being is entangling or really involved with a guru or with the deity or with Sadashiva, Brahman or whatever. And so it was more like a possibility that our texts talk about. But I didn't know that there is an actual procedure and a protocol to make it happen. So one of the things that I've learned here is that what was always a theoretical model for me, and I've written so much about quantum entanglement of beings and consciousness, and I'm writing actually in a book also this. But what I learned here is things like the quantum entanglement methods include things like yoga, dancing, kirtan is not just fun going on, we're entangling celebrations, procession of deities, guru entanglement, deity worship, linga abhishekam, homas, darshan, energy darshans, power manifestations, the various Q&A sessions to sit and discuss, to sit and have chai and talk and various kinds of things. Living in the ashram, walking barefoot, getting wet and walking barefoot saying it's okay, is part of going back to our natural state. And in that natural state, we are more easily entangled, whereas when we are tightened up wearing boots and clothes and all that stuffy modern life, we are blocking the entanglement of our own will. We are blocking that. So a whole lot of things that we do here are actually entanglement facilitators.
Yes.
So this is a big new idea that I have learned. Is this okay?
I should say, the Shaktini Pata is the word for quantum entanglement. If I have to roughly translate, Sadashiva uses the word Shaktini Pata. And whatever you describe is perfect. He goes even one step further. Even taking bath in the same water in which master took bath or the deity has been given bath.
Because that water has become entangled.
Entangled.
Yeah.
And sprinkling that same water on your head.
Yes.
So, to the extreme level, Sadashiva describes this quantum entanglement not only in the physical level, even thought currents. If I express certain thought current, and you are wow, you feel wow about it, then the entanglement has started.
And so one is direct entanglement between conscious being and conscious being. One seems to be entanglement through matter.
Yes.
So mandala plays a role there. Vibhuti.
Yes.
So there is, when we say that this food is sacred or this object is sacred, what we are saying is that it has been entangled with the Sadashiva.
Yes.
And now when I entangle with it, I have access to the same.
Yes.
It's all sort of like some kind of software has been linked.
Yes.
And I am downloading it from there because maybe I don't have access to Sadashiva, but I have access to this entity which has been energized. So this process actually is very scientific because it is verifiable.
Jnana Rasavada object, the object which has gone through a spiritual alchemy process, one end of it is matter, another end of it is Sadashiva.
Very true. Very good.
It's a bridge.
Yes.
It's a God particle in particle.
Yes.
God in particle form. So that reproduces the same experience in us.
Yes. This is actually what you just said, as I understand, is the fundamental scientific principle behind everything we're doing. And this differentiates Hinduism from all those things.
From all traditions.
Because over there, this is accused as idol worship and banned. So what we call divinity in matter is banned because it's called idolatry. So this is, you can never say these things are the same because there's an opposite effect. And a good poison pill is for us to supply to them what is banned. As each time we hold our ground and say that, look, this sacredness we cannot compromise. We cannot say Ganga is just an ordinary river and this Murti is just a piece of stone and the living master is just another teacher. We cannot do that. And so as long as we hold on to these, we are not going to get digested because these are non-digestible. So we have the authenticity leads to our security as non-digestible and also serves as a poison pill to anybody else.
And it produces results.
Yes, yes.
Only the authenticity produces results.
Yes.
See, I have also faced many people who say, why if the rice is not there, it's okay.
Yeah.
God is not going to be angry with popcorn, let me throw that.
Yeah.
People come and try to tell me that. I tell them, understand, for example, you revere a person. If that person himself wrote a manual how he needs to be treated, will you do something on your own?
Yeah.
No.
That's very true. Yes. You have to respect the source.
Source.
Yeah.